Hello my Purple Banditos, and welcome back to more Let's Play Pokemon Glazed. I'm PurpleRodri. Last time we made our way through Haunted Rock. It was actually a little bit troublesome, but we found out who the boss of Team Fusion is, and his name is Michael, as well as RSP. In today's episode, we're going to make our way into the Lighthouse and take on the Lighthouse Challenge. Now, this is one of the suggestions that you guys gave me, so once again, thank you guys for that. Make sure you give this video a like. It's much appreciated. Now, I know that last time I actually asked you guys about what Pokemon is your favorite type, and I've been thinking a lot about that because there are so many cool Pokemon. I've kind of just been thinking a lot about just the Pokemon world in general recently. So I'd have to say that fire types are my favorite, not only because Charizard, is one of my top favorite Pokemon, but because they're also really, really strong, and because I have a story. One time, I have this really, really good friend, and, for the first time that I was going for a complete Pokedex, even though it was in Fire Red, I actually nicknamed a Pokemon after this friend of mine, and, she kind of did the same, and we just played through it together, and we, traded, and we did this and that, and it was a really good experience, playing through Fire Red that way, and, that increased the level of how much I cared about, my Charizard and Fire types, because it was so awesome, completing that Pokedex with a friend and trading over, and, that's how it was supposed to be done. I feel like that's what makes Pokemon the most fun, is when you play it with friends and just, share all these Pokemon and trade them over. I think that's what it's supposed to be like, and I really, really enjoyed it, and it kind of stuck with me, and it's something that I've always thought about. Another thing that I was thinking about recently is I've always been into cryptozoology since I was a kid. So if you guys know what that is, it's pretty much like the study of mythical creatures, right? So it could be like the Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, Thunderbird, all these different types of mythical creatures. And I've always been into that since I was a kid. I remember I was in elementary school, and I opened up this book, and it was about the Loch Ness Monster, and since then, I just fell in love with it, I fell in love with those creatures and that type of thing, and, I always wanted to believe, and to this day, I still do believe that, there's probably a Loch Ness Monster out there, there's probably a Bigfoot, because I feel like deep down, it makes life more exciting to be able to believe in something like that, that there is a mythical creature out there hiding, because it kind of gives you a little bit of magic to the world, so I've just been thinking about that, and it's I believe those things because I think it's really cool, I think it would be awesome to, go to South America sometime, who knows, in the Amazon forest, and you look up to the sky and you see a Thunderbird or something. Just imagine how amazing that would be if we could have that happen, if we could have these types of animals here in our world that are similar to Pokemon. I think that would be so cool, and I think that's also part of why I fell in love with Pokemon too, because it just kind of added that, these different weird, crazy creatures, and I thought it was really, really cool. Now, I was actually talking to a friend of mine yesterday about this stuff, about the mythical creatures and all these sorts of things, and it got me started thinking that what if somebody came up to you right now and was like, hey, alright, so you hop into this machine and you can hop into the world of Pokemon. You'll be taken into the Pokemon world. You'll be able to start a Pokemon journey. But the only downside is that you will have to leave everything you know behind. So you would leave all the people you know. You'd leave, the world behind. And you'd never be able to come back. Now, I started thinking about that. And I was like, at first, I feel like, we'd be kind of sad leaving family behind and all these things. But then I also thought to myself, what if those were your aspirations? What if that's truly what you wanted to do? Become a Pokemon master? Why wouldn't you accept that? And then I thought about it, and I was like, if you were given that opportunity, I feel like I would have to take it, because it would be such a once-in-a-lifetime chance, and although I would be leaving people I cared about behind, I think they would know that, that's what I wanted to do, and I would hope they know that I would want to, go and explore and go on my own adventures. So I just started thinking about that, because it's pretty interesting, it's kind of crazy to think about sometimes, but who knows, maybe you guys will think differently, maybe you guys would stick around, but I feel like it would be fun to go and take the challenge. If I could just go and get a starter, I would work so hard to be a Pokemon master. I feel like all of us would, honestly, if we were at the Pokemon world, especially those of us who were played through the games and know all these like different Pokemon and everything. You'd just be so much more experienced going into it that you'd probably end up being the champion. With that though, we defeated another trainer. Now, we're actually gonna have a pretty big climb up here, so we're just gonna keep on moving and keep on trucking through this place. And it looks like Gilligan is poisoned though, so let me go ahead and actually heal him up. He's been poisoned for quite a bit. I probably should have used this a little bit earlier, but regardless of that, I think we'll be okay. I know that we still have quite a bit to do today. I remember that Blake gave us the Seaspray Ticks, so we can still take that and make it to Seaspray Town, so hopefully we'll be able to do that today. I'm gonna go ahead and put Lanky up in front. Whenever I see these trainers, what I've noticed a pattern here in the Lighthouse is that depending on what they're wearing, you know, if you see like the big mountain hiker, of course, he's probably gonna have like a rock, you know, ground type. You see this person who you usually see in the woods, they're probably gonna have like bugger grass, and I guess I gotta figure out the pattern here. So let's go for the Flame Wheel Lanky. Hopefully our boy Lanky will evolve soon. Now, I know that I haven't trained Daenerys too much yet, but I'll probably be training it, you know, coming up, because I know that we're actually gonna have a lot of training coming up, and you guys will see why very, very soon. Alright, with that, guys, we're gonna go ahead and take down the Ivysaur. I feel bad taking down Ivysaur. I feel like Ivysaur is one of the most underrated, you know, evolutionary Pokemon. I think it just kind of sits there, you know. Everybody like likes Charmeleon. Wartortle is awesome, but Ivysaur, there just really hasn't been much to it. I feel like they should bring that up in the anime or something. Maybe throw an Ivysaur in there. Who knows? I haven't watched the anime in so long that they could be, for all I know. Let's go ahead and take on Irene. Didn't Ash's Bulbasaur evolve into an Ivysaur? I feel like it did, but it's been so long that I don't remember. Maybe it didn't. Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. I'll have to go back and rewatch it all. Whenever I see like new episodes of Pokemon come up on like Netflix, I'm like, yep, I need to marathon this. I'm just gonna go ahead and hop on this and just watch as much as I can. All right, let me go ahead and put Cranky though. Cranky should be able to take down all these guys. You know, the Lighthouse is actually a pretty good training spot. I believe that you can actually battle this place over and over. So it's not just something that you can only do one time. You can actually come here and train. I know that's what you guys suggested to me. So I'm actually really glad that we did this, because hopefully it will give Daenerys a bunch of levels. If we could get Daenerys to about 30 by the next gym, I think that would be really, really good. That's what I'm going to aim for, guys. I'm going to try to train, you know, Daenerys to level 30, get him in the mix, get her in the mix, and then we'll be able to hopefully, you know, use our little dragon a little bit. I'm going to go for another Thunder Punch, though. So there we have it. At least the Cloister's gonna be going down. Also, if you guys hear a little bit of rain in the background, it's been raining on and off here. I don't know what it is, but when I first got here, I've already been here for like 2 weeks. It's kind of nuts, honestly, if you think about it. Or close to 2 weeks, I guess. I'm getting pretty close to the 2-week line, but time flies. I was just talking to my cousin about it, like how crazy time has been going, you know, how fast it's been going. I feel like I just got here to El Salvador, and it's already been like so long. You know, we just gotta make the most of it, because before we know it, we could be like old and looking back on our lives, just being like, dang, remember back then? You know, I feel like we've all had those moments. Even now, I sit here sometimes and I'm like, yeah, I remember back when I was like, you know, in high school, this, and that. And you're like, whoa, that was a while ago, huh? It's actually been a little bit of time. And it just makes you realize how fast time goes. And that's why you got to make the most of it. Lately, I've been trying to make the most of my time, taking any opportunity that I can, going on an adventure. If somebody is like, hey, try this food, I'm going to eat the food. If somebody's like, hey, try this candy, I'm probably going to eat this candy. You know, why not? You just got to go for it in life sometimes, you know? I feel like that's what you have to do. Do what makes you happy, you know, and just go for it. There's no point in holding yourself back, because life is pretty short. And that's something that I've been thinking about quite a bit. You know, you got to spend your time doing the things you love and not let people tell you otherwise. You know, you got to just go out there and have fun, you know, do your own hobbies. If, you know, if you like playing games, play games. If you like, you know, playing sports, play sports. And just don't let anybody tell you otherwise, you know. Do your thing. It's your life. Enjoy it. That's pretty much how it goes. Let me go ahead and knock this Ninetales out, though. So I probably should have switched out to Gilligan. But once in a while, I like, you know, a little bit of pride comes up, especially for Lanky. I think Lanky would be a very proud Pokemon. I believe that Ash's Infernape was a pretty proud Pokemon too. So it just kind of seems like that type of Pokemon. That's another thing about fire types. No joke, I feel like fire types are a lot of bit like me. I feel like, you know, you can have a lot of pride. You know, you can just you know, want to go out there and be the best and do these things. And I think that's why I've always liked fire types. Whenever I saw like Charizard the anime not listening to Ash, I was like, there you go, Charizard. I was like, you don't have to listen to that. You don't have to listen to that kid. Don't worry about it. You got this. You got this, Charizard. Do your own thing. I don't know. I was always rooting for him. But I guess it was also pretty cool once you started listening to Ash as well, because, you know, it brought you back some feelings. You're like, hey, little Charmander, he's back. He's back inside of there. All right, let's keep on moving through here, though. We're actually getting pretty close to the top, so hopefully we will be able to take down anyone we're up against. We're actually doing quite good right now. I thought we were going to lose a couple more Pokemon, so I picked up a lot of Super Potions. But, you know, right now we've actually been blazing through this, and let's hope that we can keep this going. So here's what I was saying. As soon as you see the big guy, get your water type out there. That's what you're going to have to go up against. It's definitely going to be happening. I'm going to go ahead and go for the water gun. That should do a lot of damage to this Rhyperior. Whenever I see a Rhyperior, I think it's one of the coolest looking Pokemon. You know, when I was a kid and I would see like, you know, Rhyperior's previous, you know, line, I was like, whoa, you know, these Pokemon are cool. And then I got to see them now and I was like, whoa, Rhyperior is sick. I still remember the first time I saw that, you know, when they started expanding. You know, some Pokemon that only had one evolution to 2. I was like, this is awesome. I can't wait. And, you know, I'm still waiting on a couple Pokemon that I would like to see evolve. Here's one that I would like to see evolved. Mr. Mime. Because I really hope he gets a soul sometime. You know, Mr. Mime just has that cold appearance to him. Just kind of stares through you. Well, I guess Mr. Mime has, you know, a little baby evolution. But nothing huge, you know. Imagine just seeing like a... what would a Mr. Mime be if you evolved it? Like, what would its name be? Who knows? I'm gonna go for the Earthquake though, and that should pretty much take down this Conkeldurr. I feel like this Conkeldurr has actually been doing quite a bit of damage to us. So oh, mother fudger, he actually took me down, and that's kind of surprising. I thought we were gonna be able to make it through here. Hopefully we won't have to go up against any other Pokemon that require Gilligan, because if we do, I don't have any revives, guys. Whoops, I totally blanked, did not buy any revives. It's also because the Pokédollars are a tiny bit expensive, guys. A tiny bit expensive. Gonna tell you that for sure. Oh, you know what? I just thought of what Mr. Mime's name would be. It would be Mime Senior. Oh my goodness. So that you'd have Mime Junior, Mr. Mime, and Mime Senior. There you go. So whenever that comes out, you know, just remember, guys. Just remember where you heard it. All right, let's go ahead up the stairs. I believe we're gonna claim our prize now. So pretty cool. But you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and heal up. You never know. If this guy starts like challenging me, I don't want our Pokemon getting killed, because he probably will be the strongest if he's at the top of the lighthouse. With that though, let's go ahead and talk to the guy and see what he has to say. We'll put Cranky up in front just in case, because he's dressed like a sailor. It's been a long time since I've seen a challenge make it to the top. Congratulations for completing the challenge. Promise, here's your prize. With that, guys, we obtained an Eevee. So welcome Eevee to our team. Feel free to challenge the Lighthouse anytime. Have fun. And with that, guys, we have added an Eevee to our team. Now, we can't give this Eevee a nickname yet, but if you guys know where I can find the name guy, let me know, because I would really like to give this Eevee a nickname, and I think it would be pretty cool. I'm actually pretty happy about an Eevee. This was a suggestion I got from you guys, so thank you guys so much for that. I think having an Eevee on our team is going to be really great. Eevee's got some good moves, but I'm going to go ahead and make my way into the Pokemon Center and heal up a little bit. Okay, so now that we're healed up, we can go ahead and make our way out of here. Here's another cool thing I was thinking about. If you guys leave me a comment on what we should name our Eevee, hopefully we'll be able to rename the Eevee soon. You know, if I see a really awesome one, I'll go ahead and pick it out, because I think you guys always come up with a lot of little creative things, and I would like to, you know, bring that into the game. Let's go ahead and give you guys the chance to name one Pokemon. Since I named them all, go ahead and tell me what you want to nickname the Eevee, and I'll go ahead and pick one out. I think that would be a lot of fun, especially because I feel like I always name the Eevee, so it'll be fun to see what type of Eevee you guys want and see what you want it evolved into. I have a couple ideas in my mind of what I want to evolve the Eevee into, but let's see what you guys, you know, have to say and what you guys think about it, and we'll go ahead and pick one together. All right, so that actually did a lot of damage. It's kind of funny seeing this chick here again. She always comes to battle us. Let's go for the Swift, though. I have a feeling... Oh my goodness, okay, I thought it was gonna take it down there, but that's too bad. I really thought it was... Mother fudger, there it is. A crit. Hey, game. Nice to see you again, game. nice to see. Nice to see that our luck is, you know, there you go. That the crits are just against us again. I'm gonna go for a mother fudger. You really have some super potions, Shell. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and hope for a crit here. I feel like our boy Lanky can pull through for us. Lanky will be able to do this, guys. I feel pretty good about this. Super effective. Let's go for another potion on your Bayleaf. I mean, you have other Pokemon, Shell. Save that up. You don't see me spamming super potions. Yeah, I spam them on like one Pokemon once in a while. Yep, who am I kidding? Shell's right. Shell's following, you know, pretty much a good strategy. I would be doing the same thing. With that, though, the Bayleaf has gone down. I really like seeing Pokemon from Johto. Whenever I see a Bayleaf, it reminds me of, like, my old, like, Pokemon Crystal save. I believe I have a Bayleaf on there. I haven't restarted that game in forever. I think I have, like, a Bayleaf, like, a Ho-Oh. I don't even remember. A really weird team on there, because I always constantly just kept resetting it. All right, let's go ahead and take down this little Raichu, then. Good thing for us, we have the Earthquake, so it makes things quite a bit easier. Now that we have Earthquake, we'll probably be able to just run through, you know, anything we come up against. Also, you guys told me that the TMs actually work like HMs here. So that is something that I did not know. So I'll definitely be upgrading our moves for our Pokemon as soon as we get like strong TMs and HMs. I think that is amazing. With that though, guys, speaking of which, the gym leader left shortly after our match. If you plan to challenge her, you better go find her. In any case, I'm off to Stormy City for my 4th badge. All right, see you later, Shell. With that though, guys, let's keep on going. Oh, not again. With that, we are in Newport Richie. Hi. Wait, Newport Richie. Newport Richie. That sounds really familiar. This guy's like, attack me. What on earth are you talking about?
Where are my keys? Holy Rodri, you scared me. Please don't do that again. I suppose you're here for answers, right? You've been an excellent help to me, so I owe you an explanation. It's the least I can do. Our universes were never meant to be connected, but a great force is bringing them much too close. I don't know what's causing it, but I have a hunch it's a legendary Pokemon from your world, but it doesn't make sense. Just like you, I'm able to slip between our universes. I've even managed to gain control of it, as I showed you the first time you arrived. I've taken it upon myself to figure out what's going on and to stop it before dire things happen. The people here don't know of Pokemon. If they were found, I can't let that happen. Can I trust you with a great task? I can't keep tab on what happens in your world. Please report to me any news of humans or Pokemon that may be the cause of our universes merging. I realize you'll want to return home. The portal of your world has been shut, but it's most likely able to be reopened. Look around where you arrived.
All right, so let's go ahead and find our way back. Newport Richie. Why does this stand out? Newport Richie.
I saw you talking with Luke. Are you guys friends? He's the only one who doesn't make fun of me for liking
the Pokemon games.
He says he's a Poke fan just like me. Are you a Poke fan too? Thanks for cheering me up.
A world without Pokemon? It must be awful to not have the feeling of love that only a Pokemon can give. That girl, she shouldn't be treated like an outsider because she cherishes that. Wow! And oh my goodness! Newport Richie's in Florida! Oh my gosh! The parallel universe is Earth! That's why they don't have Pokemon there, and that's why they have Pokemon games and Pokefans! Oh my goodness, my mind just exploded, guys! The parallel universe is our world! It's Earth! Next time, we will continue from here. Make sure you give this video a like! Oh my goodness! Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Goodbye!